Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to have a brief review of what we have discussed so far as regards the SQL-like functions in R, in particular the dplyr package. So last time we installed the NYC flights, and then we required it together with these two other packages, dplyr and ggplot. So if we check it, class, in your packages, type the dplyr. So make sure your dplyr is loaded, dplyr. Okay, here it's checked. So it means it's installed and loaded. Also NYC flights, there. NYC flights, it's checked. Okay. And also ggplot2, there. Okay, so make sure that your packages are loaded. Okay. Of course, you can just, if it's not loaded, you can check this. Okay. If I uncheck this, for example, the function there is detach. Okay, so you're detaching. Okay, so this is the function. The code there, detach ggplot2 unload is equal to true. But if I click this, so it will be library ggplot2. Okay. Okay, and we said that NYC flights contain several data sets, airlines, weather, etc. So we're going to we were using the NYC flights 2023 package in order to use data coming from that package to do some data wrangling here, or data manipulation, okay, or data transformation. And so far, we have looked at the filter function coming from dplyr. The filter function will allow us to create a new object, okay, where we choose specific rows that conform with a particular criterion. So there are other functions which we're going to look at. Hopefully, we're going to reach summarize and even group by today. So filter, summarize, group by. You also have mutate, arrange, joins, and of course, this should have come next. The select function, very important also. As compared to the filter function allows us to remove rows of observation that does not conform to our criterion. On the other hand, select function allows us to remove columns. So those variables that we don't need, okay, we can create an object where what is present are only the variables that we need. So in that case, we use the select function. So they're related. The filter function will allow us to generate a new object or a new subset, of our data where we have specific rows that we want. On the other hand, for select specific columns. Okay, so we said that all of this is all about SQL, structured query language. So last time we began by way of review, class, again, this is very important to us, the pipe operator, the bar and then greater than, and this means, this technically means and then, okay, and then, okay. So we looked at the different operators, less than, greater than, etc. So we were using the flights data set, this one. So let's just make sure that this let's use the view function so that it will print, okay, here. And quick review, class, there are 435 plus observations. Okay, sometimes you need to, let me redo that because sometimes it takes time. View flights, second time around, it's faster. Oops, it didn't run. Control enter. Do I have flights here already? taking some time, sorry. Flight zero login. I have so many files open. I don't have the flights here. View flights. Okay. Okay. It's taking some time to print class anyway. So let me go back to my SQL. I know that it's already there. And we learned about the summary function. The summary function tells us the structure, and the summary function structure, for example, tells us what type of object this is. Here, structure, it should print here. It's not, why isn't it running? Control Enter. There, right? You should see it in your console when you run a particular code. So here, we know that the flights data set is a table. It's a special type of table. 435,000 plus by 19 rows of observation. It's a data frame. It's a table data frame. Okay, and you can see here the different features or variables that go with it. $year, $month, $day. This indicates that in order for us to access this year object, year variable, we have to go through flights data set. Last time we learned that if we're going to get the average of year from this flights data set, we would not be able to generate that. Okay. For example, departure time, if you get the mean of depth $time, okay, this will not be recognized. Okay, unless you created this object. So let me check. If I have depth time here. Okay, why don't let me delete everything here. Okay, start anew. There. Okay, depth time. So I don't have this object here. So if I run this, it will generate an error term. Okay, error because R does not recognize depth time. So you have to access depth time through the flights object. So flights $, that's where the dollar comes from. Means that depth time is part of your flights data object. Control Enter. So, and again, it returns an error term because depth time has, okay, let me just flash this. Departure time has NA values. Okay, and it's important for us. Okay, so if I get once again the summary of flights, the summary of flights will give us the 6 number summaries of your quantitative variables here. And that's the count, the frequency count of your character variables. Not frequency, I mean, just the count. So depth time, take a look at this. There are 10,738 missing values. So R will not give us the computation of whether of a statistic, okay, if there are missing values. So we have to address that. So that's why when we got the average of departure time from flights, it generated an error result. Okay? So may I have your confirmation first? If that's clear so far, that's just a quick review of what we have discussed before. Is it clear so far, class? Okay, thank you. All right, good. Okay, so last time, what we did, we're already done with this. We said, so just a quick review. We want to create an object called Alaska Flights, okay? So this is our assignment operator. Okay, what's the shortcut, class, for assignment operator? Quickly, class. Shortcut for assignment operator. It is whether Mac or Windows, they're the same. Okay, I see an answer here. Alt minus, thank you. You're correct. Alt minus. Alt minus. Okay. So here we're making use of the flights data set, and then this is our pipe operator, Control Shift M. For Mac, it's Command Shift M. Okay. So this one, this is the new. Where is that? Where's the bar? That's in bar. Anyway, bar. Can't find it. Saan na siya? Hindi naman to. Wala, saan yun? Okay, I'll just put it here. Anyway, I'm inside a code chunk, so that's okay. So Control Shift M there, but it does not properly print because it's not inside a function. Okay, so we're saying that you start with flights, Control Shift M. Okay, you can see that it now prints properly, and then we filter. So filter class is a SQL-like function that allows us to remove rows that are not needed. In this case, we're using a particular variable, carrier, okay? And we want carrier to be just equal to AS. Now, what we did last time, by way of quick review class, is that if we use a table function, flights dollar carrier, so it will give us this one, carrier tab, control enter. It will give us a cross tabulation of what's inside carrier and the frequency. So it's 7,843 Alaska Airlines. So we expect that to be the output. Okay. Carrier filter, we're using carrier, right? And it's equal to AS. Make sure you use double equal to. And AS should be in quotes because AS is a character variable. All right, if we run this, control enter, then we have now an object, okay, in our data. It's taking some time. Okay, Alaska flight 7843 observations. Okay, and if we print this, just checking Alaska flights, there you go. We still have 19 columns. We did not actually filter. We did not quote unquote select columns. So we'll just filter class. So by filtering, we just remove rows based on a certain criterion, okay? But the number of columns still remain the same, still 19 and 7,843 observations. And if we go to the carrier here, all of them are AS, okay? So this is just a quick review class. Let's proceed. We also did another one, okay? We want this time the destination to be PDX. So we check the table also, the table function, and we compared and we got the same answer. So if we run this, we're creating this object Portland flights, okay? That's the variable assigned to whatever is the result here, flights, and then filter destination equal to PDX. Control enter, and 1942. As expected, because we created the table for destination and Portland PDX has indeed 1942. All right, so filter is very easy to use. And we said that you can combine several criteria. So here, filter, where the origin is JFK, and take note, we're using this because this is a strict requirement, and the destination should be either BTV or SEA. Now take note that this function is inside a parenthesis, and we're using this one, the bar. This is your or. Huh? So it's either BTV or shuttle. And also the last requirement is that the month should be October, November, December, since the month is numeric, 1 January, 2 February, etc. October, November, December will be 10, 11, 12. Okay, so we did this last time. Okay, if I run this, you can now see that we have here BTV C flights 1192. And if I print this, okay, so let me just remove the others. So So BTV flights. So 1192 observations, still 19 columns. Okay, still 19 columns. And if we check the destination, it will either be BTV or SEA, Shuttle or Birmingham. Okay. And then the month should be 10 or 11 or 12. And then also another one, the origin should be JFK. Okay, so all of those required all of those required criteria were satisfied. Okay. All right. So once again, quick question, class. Were you able to get this? Feedback, please. Quick feedback. Okay, good. Thank you. All right. Now, as an addition to this, class, we said also that we can use, instead of using the ampersand several times, we can just use comma. The comma here will take the place of the ampersand. So you'll get the same result. Okay. All right. Now for this one, so we said we want to generate an object called not BTV, not shuttle. Okay. And we learned the syntax of this. So this is the name of the object that we're creating. And then we're again starting with flights. Okay, so if we check, this means it should not be going to BTV, nor should it be going to shuttle. So if we check class, once again, we create a table, flights, and then $destination, control enter. The ones going to shuttle is, what's that? Shuttle is, let me increase the size of this. SEA, so that's 5229, okay? 5229. Okay. And how many observations do we have? N row of flights. So that gives us your 400 plus something, minus the one from shuttle, and minus the one from BVT. BVT is how many flights going to be BTV, I'm sorry. 3, 4, 5, 6 here. So 3, 4, 5, 6, we subtract 3, 4, 5, 6 minus 3, 4, 5, 6. So what am I doing? The total number of flights emanating from New York City from the 3 airports minus the one going to BTV minus the one going to shuttle, okay, because that's what we want. Okay, all flights except BTV and shuttle. That should give us 426,667. Okay, so we're just checking. And then if we run this, take note how the syntax is written. Okay, we placed inside the parentheses the two conditions here. Okay, sorry. Here. There. Destination BTV or destination shuttle. And then we negate that here. Okay. Not destination BTV or not destination shuttle. So if you run this, not BTV, control enter. Okay, we have here 426,667, which agrees with this one. Okay. All right. Once again, class, kindly give your feedback if so far that function is clear. I hope you don't mind us reviewing this filter because we were not able to discuss this last time because we were focusing on the bibliography. Okay. Okay, good. Thank you. All right. Now, then I think I gave this to you, no? I gave this to you and we said that this is wrong. Okay, for what reason? Destination is not BTV or destination is not shuttle. Now, if you take a look at this syntax, if we say destination is not BTV, then that means it will include shuttle. Okay. And then if we go here, because it's or destination is not equal to shuttle, then it will include BTV, because we're just saying that it should not include shuttle. If we're taking a look at this, then what will happen is that it will include BTV. On the other hand, if we're taking a look at this, then it says not BTV, then it means that it will include shuttle. And since this is or, then any of those conditions will be met. So if I run this class, we go back to, okay, where's that? Not BTV shuttle 1, not BTV shuttle 1. Did it run? Still running, sorry. Still running. And we will find out that this will give us 435,000 plus of the observation, which means everything is included there. 435,352, everything is included. And the reason for that is because of this or here, okay? So once again, I said destination not BTV. If we just take a look at this, it will include shuttle. Then if we take a look at this destination not equal to shuttle, just because of this, it will include BTV. Okay, so in order to correct this class, okay, did I give this to you class this time, last time? So it should be destination not equal to BTV and destination not equal to shuttle. Okay, both conditions have to be met. Okay, in case I haven't shared this with you, in the interest of time, I'm going to share this with you. Control B. Okay. All right. So if you check this class, then it will give us the correct output, which is 42667. Okay, and may I have your feedback, please, if it's clear so far? If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Okay, good. Thank you. All right. So be careful, class, especially when you're doing negation. This one, okay, we're creating this object X. Flights is not equal to BTV or destination is equal to shuttle. So what will happen here? What will happen here? If I run this, okay, so I'm creating this object X, and we're saying that destination should not be BTV or destination should be shuttle. Okay, this is positive, right? It should include shuttle, and this is negative, not BTV. So what happens here, class, if I run this? And this is my X. So 431,896. So it's quite different. It's not the same as the not BTV here. Okay. So let's just check. Let me since we have this object X here, I'm going to create this table, okay, table X and then destination. Okay. So I'd like to see what is inside destination of the object X. And you can see here, class, that does it include shuttle, SEA? Yes, it includes shuttle here, 5229. Specifically because we said destination is equal to shuttle. But does it include BTV? Okay. Is BTV here? No. Okay, because we specifically said that BTV should not be included. Not included BTV include shuttle. Okay, when you say do not include BTV, it means that all others will be included. Okay. So what happened here was that, okay, if you recall, how much was BTV? How many flights to BTV? 3, 4, 5, 6, I think. Yeah, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if we check n row of flights, okay, And then let's subtract the, how much was BTV? 3, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 43816. Okay, there, 43816. Okay, because what was only excluded was the BTV flights. Okay, I know I'm going quite fast because this is just a review, but please, may I have your feedback if everything is clear so far. In case you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hands now or to ask so that we can address that question. Okay, good. Thank you. So now, no clarifications. Okay. All right. So, so this one I discussed, right? So the correct way is, I already repeated this. Okay, this is the correct one. Not BTV and destination not shuttle. So that was what we discussed a while ago. Okay. And by the way, class, just for your reminder, when you use the not class and then use it with equal to, there should only be one equal to sign here. Okay, you cannot have 3 operators here, not equal, equal. Okay, so this is wrong. But if you're using not outside, not beside the equal sign, for example, you put it here, then you should use double equal to. Okay, so just like this here, this is okay. Not destination equal to BTV. This is okay. But this is wrong. Not and then double equal to. You don't do that. It will generate a syntax error. Okay. So how about this? So let me just again in the interest of time. Okay. Wait, let me just change this first. Control Shift and okay, and then I'll discuss that. Okay, if you have, let's say, if you're filtering the same destination, however, you have several destinations. Okay, right? Control C. Let me share this code chunk with you. Again, as much as possible, I'd like you to write this on your own, but we're really trying to move forward already. Okay, so what's this all about? So take a look at this class. I'm creating this object, many airports, and then we're using the flights data set, and then we're filtering. Notice that we have several destinations, and we're using OR, okay? Which means destination shuttle, okay? Or destination San Francisco, or destination Portland, or destination Burlington, or destination BDL. Okay, so the result will be 5 destinations. If you run this, run, and then many airports, you have 22979. Okay, and once again, let's check class. The destinations, 2279 for our many airports. 2279, where's our destination? Here. Okay, so better still to use the table function, table. Okay, and then many airports, right? And then dollar desk. So you now see that you have only 5 BDL, BTV, etc. You have 5 destinations, okay, because of your filter. Okay, did you get the many airports class once again? I hope you don't mind me pausing for a while and asking for your feedback. You might have a question about it. Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you for your feedback. Now, if you do this class, you notice that you keep on repeating destination many times. So it's okay just to use one destination because it's just one variable. Okay, so let's try this. Many airports, I'm appending one to it. Flights is flights, use flights and then filter, then destination, and then destination, and then this one. We concatenate the 5 destinations. Now, if we run this, we'll generate an error term. Run. Okay, so it's an error term class because the syntax error here is this one. Okay, so what do? We use this, the percentage in percentage. When we're using a particular, let's say this is a filter, and then we're filtering a particular variable, okay, and then we're assigning it, we're passing it to a vector. This is a vector class, a vector of your destinations. We don't use the pipe operator. Rather, we use this symbol percentage in percentage. Okay, so if you take a look here, okay, so let's just copy this, Control C, and then Control V, copy it below, and let's change this. Okay, so this is wrong. It should be percentage. Percentage, percentage. In percentage. Oops, nawala. So, percentage in there. Okay, so this is the correct way. Destination. Okay, we're piping flights, and we're filtering destination in this vector, shuttle, okay, etc. So if you run this, then you'll have many airports, one, okay, 22979 observation. So this is correct. Okay, so you can do that. So that's the use of percentage in percentage, especially when you're piping it through a vector of characters in this case. Okay. All right. So let's now go to the summarize function. So what's the summarize function? Let me just share this with you. Okay, Control C, and then Control V. Okay. So what does the summarize function do? The summarize function allows us to compute summary statistics. Okay. So for example, if we want to compute the mean of a particular variable, then we can use summarize. Okay. So in this case, we're going to use the weather data set. The weather data set is also from NYC flights. Okay. So let's view that. View weather. It will print this class. So this is coming from NYC flights 23 package also. So we have 26,000 plus observations and 15 columns. And you can see here, some of the measures have NA values. So no value there. Maybe they were not able to collect the value. Okay, so SQL back to here. And then if we get the summary of weather, you can see here, for example, the temperature here. Okay, now take note for the summary function, it computes for the mean. Okay. However, when we get, if you recall, okay, let me go here. I just here anyway. If I get the mean of weather dollar temp. Okay, now I know this will not generate an answer class because there are many missing values in the temperature object. In fact, if we take a look at this one here, here class, there are 25,536 missing values. Ang laki, out of the 26,000 lang yung weather class, eh. Diba? So there are only 26,000 observations for weather. And your temperature has 25,000, right? Practically more than 80% are missing. Missing values. Okay, that's a lot. However, it computed the mean. So the summary function in R will ignore yung mga NAs. Okay, however, when we're using the mean function, it will not ignore it, and then it will tell us that it's an NA value because there are NA values there. Okay, so let's use the summarize function. So I'm creating this object summary temp, and then we're using the weather data set, and then summarize. So this is where the summarize function comes in. And take a look at the syntax. We first give the name. What name do you want to give the variable? Okay, average. You can use AVG or whatever, and then this is the function, mean of temp. So we're creating this object, okay, summary temp, and we want that R generate the mean of temperature and give it a name average. And we also want R to get the standard deviation of temperature and then give it a name stdev. And then when we summarize this, when we run this, okay, what will this give us? Okay, NA, because there are missing values. So in R, it does not automatically compute if there are missing values. So there's this aspect called imputation, Control C. Okay, imputation is the process of dealing with missing values. Okay, we impute. There are several ways to impute. The most common ones are to get the mode. Okay, to get the mode of the distribution, and then replace all missing values with the mode. So that way, the centrality of your distribution is not affected, because we know that the mode contains the most frequent observation, right? Or sometimes the others use the median. The median is the middle value. So if you use the median, then it will not so much affect the metric for central tendency. The last thing that you should be doing is to remove the missing values. Okay, that's the last among the options. Okay, let me see. Is there a question here? Yes, Carlos. Which one?
Hi sir, for yung view weather po, it says that it gives me that error po whenever I
Sige. Kindly share your screen, please.
Can you see my screen po, sir?
Yeah, okay. Sige, view. Yung view mo, small v, dapat capital V yan, ha? Sige, run mo na. Control enter ka na?
Yes, sir. It still gives me the error po.
Weather. Tinaw ko nga yung ano mo, yung packages mo. Go to packages, please. Dito sa packages window. Type NYC flights. Okay, naka-load siya, no? Okay. Sige nga, type mo na si NYC flights. Sa packages. Then sa search. Sa packages window, type mo ulit si NYC flights 23. Hello, Carlos?
Yes, sir, it's here po.
You're not sharing screen yata. Ano kaya, Yan,
Oh,
click mo nga yung NYC flights. Click mo siya. Okay, di ba andyan si weather sa baba, di ba? Yan, no? So, the weather data is part of that. So, ayan, in weather data set.
okay.
Ulitin mo nga, kindly repeat yung sa view weather, control enter mo yan. Yan sa code siya. So, view weather, yan, control enter mo nga.
Yes.
Doon lang sa line, sa view weather lang. Ayan, meron naman, nag-summary na siya.
Oh,
Yan,
sa
okay.
armor, no?
Ha? Okay na.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sige. Thank you. Thank you, Carlos, for that question. I really appreciate questions like that, no?
Thank you po.
So, salamat, ha? If you have any question, don't hesitate to ask. We don't want you to be left behind. So, good thing, it takes courage sometimes to ask questions, and I appreciate Carlos for doing that. Okay, so where are we now? We were doing this, no? So how do we go around that? Okay, so this is just one of the, let's say, just to compute for, just like the summary function, just to compute for the mean of the temperature and ignore the missing values, you use this. So summary temp, weather, and then summarize, okay? And then we're creating this object mean, which is the mean of temperature. And then we have to include this, na.rm is equal to true. Missing that remove is equal to true. So we're removing the missing values. But again, I said, class, that care should be taken in using na.rm is equal to true. Okay, so that's the last thing that we should be doing if there are missing values. Okay, also the same for standard deviation is equal to SD temp na.rm is equal to true. So here, class, we're computing two things. We're creating two variables, mean and standard deviation. Where will these variables be found? It will be under summary temp. So take note, summary temp is a new object, and it will include two variables, mean and standard deviation. And mean will have one value because it will be the average of temperature. STDEV also will have one value because it's the standard deviation of temperature, where all the missing values were deleted or removed. So if we have this printed summary temp, okay, then you have this class 59.59, which is the same as when we run summary temp, di ba? 59.59. So yung summary temp na function, it was just the same as getting the average by removing all the NA values. Okay, so this was the function. Okay, the same for standard deviation. Okay, pause again, class. Is this clear, class? Is this summary temp clear? The summarize function? Okay, so for the summarize function, we're computing. So you have to know the function, in this case, mean and standard deviation. Okay, so, and take note, summary temp is an object, okay? Here, summary temp. It has one observation and two variables. If we print this class here, there. So it's also a data frame, okay? If I get the structure, for example, structure, str, of summary underscore temp, there, control enter. So it's a table also, it's a data frame, okay? It's a data frame, and if we get the summary of summary underscore temp, summary temp, summary. It will be given the 6 number summaries of our 2 variables. Okay, we have the mean. Okay, the mean is 59, 59, everything is 59 because the mean has only one value, right? So if you get the minimum of this in the first quartile, the median, the average, the third quartile, since you only have one, then it will be the same. Also with the standard deviation, it will be the same. There, 12.58. Okay, so that's our summary temp. It's a table also. It's a data frame. All right. So where do we go now? Let's go back to our here. Okay. Now I'll share this with you. Question, Control C. Okay. Now, why doesn't this work, class? Run it, class, please. Run this code. Summary temp 1, weather, and then we summarize, create this object with the variable mean, and then summarize again, create the object, create an object with a variable standard deviation. So if we run this class, okay, error yan. Error. So error in summarize. Okay. And the error is here in stdev. Here. Why is this so? And one class, what do you think? Why does this generate an error term? When we're using 2 summaries. Okay. I see an answer here. Because of the in the middle po. Yes, what about that, Nicole? What about the pipe operator in the middle? This one. Are you referring to this one?
Parang nadoble po yung type operator. Di ba dapat po 1 lang po? Sa una lang po.
Pwede namang magdalawa. Yes. Pwede magdalawa. But in this case, bakit siya mali? You will find, class, that the pipe operator is very powerful because you can create several pipe operators in one code chunk. So far, what we have been doing is just one pipe operator, but you can actually do several pipe operators. Now, in this case, it's wrong. Why? So let's do this portion by portion. So we're creating an object called summary temp 1. So we're using weather, okay? And then we're summarizing, okay? We're summarizing, okay, wait. We're summarizing the temperature in weather, okay? So in weather, we have this variable temperature. So let's run this first. Let's run the first pipe operator, Control Enter. So it will run, and what do we now have? We now have summary temp 1. Okay, if I view this, so we have this class. Summary temp 1 is an object, it's a data frame, 1 variable, 1 row, and it's the mean of the temp. Okay, and which is correct, class. Why? Because we're summarizing the temperature variable under the weather. Okay, now, and then tells us, and then what do we do next? Summarize, no? Summarize, create standard deviation by getting the standard deviation of temp. Okay, now this will no longer work. Why? Because at this point, we have this object summary temp 1. This is the object. Okay, as far as this code is concerned, at this point, here. At this point, the object here is summary temp 1 with 1 variable, okay, and the variable is mean. And then we're telling R, you summarize the temp. Okay, so that will generate an error term because R does not anymore recognize this. Okay, we're no longer with the weather data set. Okay, after this, when we pipe, the object that's existing is summary temp 1. This is the object that's existing. So if you want to do something with this object, then you can. Okay, you can manipulate this. Okay, if you want to get the standard deviation, although standard deviation of this is also 59.58 because it's only one item, it's only one observation, right? So you can let's try that class, no? Summarize standard deviation, and then let's use this mean. Okay, what if I use mean here? So where is this mean? Okay, mean is coming from this one. Okay, this one class. Then can we do this? Will this be recognized? Because remember, at this point, when we pipe it, the object that's existing in the pipe class is this one. Okay, so let's do that. Let's try to run this. Okay, let's run this. Summary temp 1. Okay, and it ran, class, it ran. Okay, it ran. However, when I take a look at summary temp 1 class, the object is now standard deviation. Okay, and it's an NA value. Why is it an NA value? Because for a standard deviation, you'll have to have several objects class, because the formula is x minus x bar over n, okay, n minus 1. Okay, so you can't have standard deviation if you have only one object. But it did compute the standard deviation. Okay, so it recognized this. So this was what I was saying a while ago about you can have several pipe operators in one code chunk. Just as long as make sure that when you're piping, okay, the next one that you will ask R to do should be linked to the previous object. Okay, otherwise, class, if I go back here, okay, if I make this temp will not work anymore because at this point in time, okay, you don't have temp here in your, okay, let me run this again. So you should, it's important to understand what the pipe is doing. Okay, I'm going back here, class. Control Enter. Okay, and we have summary temp 1 again here. And we know that this is this one, mean. Okay, so there's no temp variable here. And when we ask R to get the standard deviation using temp, it does not understand this because it can't find temp after when we pipe after we pipe at this point. Okay, so may I have your feedback, class, if you got this one, if you got it. You have any questions? Feel free to ask questions, class. Okay, good, thank you. All right, so okay, so this is just an explanation, class. Here I just created the first object. Okay, we did this already a while ago, so I'll not discuss that anymore. And then after that, okay, the object that has been piped already, you should consider that in going to the next one. So the correct one, class, if you're creating an object, summary temp 1 is this one, which we discussed a while ago already. So summarize and then get the mean and then get the standard deviation. So this is okay. This will do, class. You only have one summarize here. Okay. One summarize. And both of these are anchored or are linked to weather. Okay. So I hope this is clear. We already did that a while ago. So let's now go to group by. Okay. This is good because this is something that, okay. Let me share this up to this one. Control C and Control D. Oops, too long. So let me Too long siya. Konti lang naman. Parang isang code chunk lang gusto niya. Control C. Okay, and then Control V. Okay. So let's take a look at this class. Group by. What does group by do? Okay. So once again, class, you can, by the way, so quickly, let me just to, let's say, inform you. Okay. So let's say we're going to create this object. Let's go back to our flights data set. Okay, let's just get the year, the month, and the day. Okay. So I'm going ahead of myself. So let's say let's just create this flights date, okay, out minus. So we're starting with flights, Control Shift M, and then Control Shift M. Oops. Control Shift M. Okay. And then we're going to select class. Select. Okay. What do we select? What do we select? Suppose let's just select, let's concatenate C, and you have year, and then month, and then day. Okay. So let's take a look at this class. Now we're using the select function. So we're creating this object flights date, and then take a look at flights class, year, month, day. Okay, year, month, day. So we're using the select function, a year, month, day, and let's run this. Run. Okay, take a look at this class. Flights date. You still have the same number of rows, 4, 3, 5, 5, 3, 2, but you only have now 3 variables. So let's click this. There you go, class. Okay, so this is the opposite of the filter function. For filter function, we remove rows based on a certain criteria. And then for select function, okay, we only include rows. We remove rows based on the select variables. Okay. All right. May I have your confirmation, please? If that's select is quite easy. Select is quite easy to understand. You just identify what variables you want to be included in your data set. Okay, please chat if it's clear, class. This select function. Okay, good. So we now have learned the filter function, we have learned the summarize function, we have learned the select function. Let's now go to group by function. Let's go here. Okay, what happens here is that we're going to group rows into categories. Okay, so for example, for temperature, okay, using the temp data from the weather, we can get a single mean temperature for the whole year. Or we can get the mean temperature, one for each of the 12 months separately. So if you recall, we have the weather here, weather, and then you have month, day, and hour. You can actually get the average on a per month basis. So our month here are 1 up to 12. Okay, 1 up to 12, right? So instead of getting the average for the whole year, we can get the average per month. Okay, so how do you do that? We use the group by function. Okay, so let's have an example here. Okay, so this one class. All right, so summary monthly temperature, this is the object that we're creating. We're using the weather function, and then take note of this, group by month. Okay, group by month. And then now you have another pipe operator. summarize the mean and the standard deviation. And then let's remove the missing values. Otherwise, we'll have an error term. And then let's print this. Okay. Now take note, up to this point, let's print this class. Let's print this summary monthly temperature, Control Enter. Okay, what do you find here, class? Okay, summary monthly temperature, summary monthly temperature. You still have the same number of observations. If I let's print this first. Okay, take note of this, class. All right, you have this here on top. It's a table, 26204 by 15, still the same. Okay, still the same. We're not actually changing our data set. It's still the same weather data set. However, take a look at this box. It now tells us that our data is now grouped into months. Okay, so if you're going to do something about your data, let's say you summarize it, it will now be done by month. Okay, because we now have this grouping. Okay, we now have this grouping, although your data still appears as 1, 2, 2, 2. It did not really group it yet. Okay, but behind this, class, R understands that your data is actually grouped, but it's not showing here because there's it does not know how it's going to be grouped, but it recognizes that there's a grouping by month. Okay, so let's continue with this. After it's grouped by month, then we're saying summarize natin. No? We summarize and generate the mean and the standard deviation and make sure that what are we using? Still the temp variable. So this is still okay because we're still with the weather data set. The group by, it's still there, class. The group by did not change your data frame. You still have your temperature here. Okay, and we make sure that we remove the missing values. Okay, and then let's print the summary monthly temperature and take a look what happens, guys. Run this, and then take a look now. There. So you now have, okay, you now have a computation of the mean and the standard deviation, this time grouped by month. Okay, it's grouped by month. There. So this is a new object class. This is summary monthly temperature. Okay, so you have now month, mean, and standard deviation for each of the month. So if I print that summary monthly temperature here, there you go. So month 1 up to 12, you have the mean per month and you have the standard deviation per month. Okay, you can see here that the highest temperature is June, July. July is hottest, 78. I think this time, this is Fahrenheit, of course. All right, so any questions, class? Clear with that? Clear with the group by? Your feedback, please, class. Okay, how about the others? Okay, good. All right, so what did I share with you? Okay, so let's go here. Let me share this with you. We'll see. Okay, this time we're going to use another data set. It's a very popular data set. Okay, there's another data set class, the diamonds data set. So let's view this data diamonds, okay, to access it. And then, or we get view diamonds. So it has 14 variables all in all. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sorry, 10 variables, I mean. 10 variables and 53,940 observations. This is data about diamonds, the carat, the cut, color, clarity, etc. Okay, and we're going to use this in order to, so let's, where's my SQL? I can just delete some of this. I'm having many here. Right, diamonds data set. Okay, so we know structure class. Okay, let's see if there are, this is of course, also a table. So we have numerical, we have also, okay, ordinal factor. So this is categorical. So it's a categorical factor, 8 levels, 8 classifications. This one, the color has 7 classifications. Okay, and then what else? Then summarize, and then dimension. Okay, what's the dimension of this? So it's, we know this to be 53,940 by 10. All right. So let's see, class. Let's first group by. Okay, diamonds. Okay, let's. Before we do that, let me run this table. Diamonds and then dollar cut. So let's see what happens here. So it gives us a cross tabulation of the different cuts: fair, good, very good, premium, ideal. So we have 5 different cuts of our diamond, and these are their distribution. Okay. Now, if we group by cut, again, let's run this. And you notice again that it's a table 53,940, and then it's grouped by cut. Okay. So our data, it's already grouped by cut. So you can now create a, let's say you can summarize, okay? Summarize by counting, for example, okay? Counting the number of observations. We'll do that in a while, okay? So, okay, let me just, let me see, Control C, I'm trying to share with you as much as I can. I hope, okay, good, good. So I have here some notes. I already discussed this a while ago, but let me just discuss it more. Right. Now, when we run this class, again, we saw the groups cut, right? Again, let me run this. This one. Okay. So we now have groups cut 5. So it means that there are 5 levels of your cut here. Groups cut 5. Okay, but of course you'll still see the same data frame. It's still 53,940 by 10. Okay. However, R knows that you are grouping the cut according to their classifications, which are 5. So here I just discussed that the groups cut 5 indicate that the grouping structure has been set based on the 5 possible levels of the variable cut: fair, good, very good, premium, and ideal. Now, as I said, the data is not changed, still 53,940 observations, okay? But you can now use the group by cut. For example, see, let's get first the summary class. Summary of diamonds. Just the price. Okay. So you can see the price here, the minimum, the first quartile, median, mean, maximum, and there are no missing values. Okay, so the price variable is complete. You can find here any NAs. So that's why in this code class, okay, let me close this first. In this code, take a look, summarize. So we're creating this object, average price, okay? And then mean of price, we don't need to put na.rm is equal to true because there's no missing value, okay, in the price data set. So this will run. R knows that you're already grouping it by cut, and you want to get the average price. Okay, you're creating this object, average price cut, and then the variable's name is average price, and it's equivalent to getting the mean of price. However, the mean is by cut. Okay, so you'll have the different cuts and then their average price. So if you run this class, there. Okay, this is our object. Cut, and these are the 5 different levels of cut, and this is their average price. Okay, so you do that by grouping the variable. Okay, so this is of course more relevant for categorical variables and not for quantitative variables, because how can you group if the quantitative variables are, especially they have decimals, it's practically meaningless to do that. Okay, unless you're going to convert your variable into categories. For example, a certain value from 0 to 100 will be this category. You can do it that way. All right. So by combining group by with another function called summarize, then we're able to create an object where, okay, where the result is that the summarize function will generate values that are grouped. Okay. Now, if we want to ungroup it, because if we group it, class, so now the data is now grouped. So any computation that you do would mean that the data is grouped. So you can ungroup it. Okay, you can ungroup it by doing this one, diamonds, and then after we group by, we can ungroup it. Okay, so let's run this, and you notice now the group now is removed. So there's no grouping here. Okay. Okay, so that if let's run this class. Okay, let's copy this first, Control C, and then Control V. Okay, so let me just do this twice. Control V. Okay, so first I'm just going to do this class. Average price cut, and then just group it there. So we know that our data, our diamonds data is grouped by. So I'm going to delete this. Okay. Okay, take note. Here, I'm deleting the group by cut. And let's see if automatically R will already compute the mean by group by. Okay, so let's run this. Okay. Take note. What happened here? It did not automatically, okay? It did not automatically, let's average price cut here. So here we know that it's grouped by cut, but if we now get the, we cannot assume class that it's grouped by cut. Okay, so take note, kailangan pa rin, you still need to impose this group by cut. So even if we know that the grouping has already been set, but in this case, okay, we did not impose the group by cut, even if we know that at the back, it's already grouped by cut. I hope you're getting what I mean, class. No? So you still need to put that there. That's my point. No? Okay, so it's almost time. All right. Okay, so just this last one, class. So let's see, Control C. All right. So okay. Now, in case you, class, may I have your permission once again? I'll just extend by a few minutes, but if you need to go, please go. Anyway, this is recorded. So I just want to include the last two because they're related. I don't want to be discussing them next time. I want us to go to the other functions next time because we need to move on and really go to our main main lesson, which is regression. Okay. So this one, class, it's just the function n. Okay, n is the counting function. Okay, so here count by origin, and again we're grouping by origin. So we know that in R in the flights data set there are three origins: NY, JFK, EWR, and LGA. So group by and then summarize, and we use this n. This is the function, class. This will count. Okay, and we're using this variable name count. Okay, so if I run this there, we will now have three. Okay, so these are object AWR, JFK, and LJA. So it counted the number of flights coming from these three airports. Okay, so I just discussed this, class. So n, the n is just counting it. Now we can also, here, take a look at this. We're grouping by origin and then by month. So what will happen here is that it will first group by origin, and then it will group by month this time. Okay, and then we count. So this is by origin and then monthly. So if we run this, take a look at the result. All right. So first we have the grouping per origin and then the month. So the first column is origin, then the second column is month, and then you have here the count. Okay, so it's now counting first by origin. Okay, and there are three origins, and then it counts by month, and then there are 12 months. So that's 3 times 12, so you'll have 36 observations here, class. Okay, that's why you'll have 36 observations. First is origin, and then month. Since there are 12 months, then EWR will have 12 rows of observation per month, and then also JFK, and then also LaGuardia. Okay, the result is 36 rows. Okay. All right. But this time, this is incorrect, class. By origin, monthly, incorrect. So what happens here? You group by origin, and then you group by month. So once again, this is wrong, class. Because after you pipe it here, it's already grouped by origin. Okay, and then hindi na pwede yung group by month, no? So if I run this, take a look at this, class. Okay, what happens here? It's incorrect. What happens? It now negates the grouping by origin. So even if you first said group by origin and then group by month. Okay, so what happened? Yes, it first grouped by origin, but then you told R, group it by month. So it will now just group by month. Okay, but if they're together, class, here, group by, okay, so this is simultaneous, origin and month at the same time. So this is sequential. Okay, so what will happen is that it will negate this. So you'll not be able to group by origin, you'll be able to group by month only, because it will supersede the first one. Okay, so that's what you get here. All right, so I think I gave this to you. I'll just send this, and then that will end our session for today. Okay. All right, so next meeting, class, we will, okay, so that ends our discussion on, let me just share this with you, class, anyway. Last na to, no? This one. Control C, I hope it fits. Sorry. And this, let me just split this into two. Okay, for you to study on your own. Okay. Control C, kindly copy, Control V, and then last, Control C. Very good. All right, so I leave you, class, to look at this. It's just the same, huh? Just the same. It just reinforces our discussion. Okay, so for next meeting, we go to the very important functions like mutate and then joins. Joins is very important, class, because you're now combining different data sets. So very important for our purposes, the joins function. Okay, so let me stop recording now.